guys, this is Tanaya Cueto with On Cue Photography coming at you with APNPI as an ambassador and a member since 2020, talking about equipment. There are so many different areas that we could go into for equipment. Your cameras, your lights, your posing surfaces, your props, your backdrops, your wraps, your outfits, like everything is equipment to us, right? Today, we're going to focus on, let's call it hardware equipment. We're going to be talking about what I use. I use the Nikon D810 full frame. This is my bad boy. I've had it for several years. I absolutely love it. I have considered going mirrorless, but until I absolutely have to, I'm not gonna, because this has been a trustworthy piece and I don't want to get rid of it just yet. I have two of them because I used to be a wedding photographer. So on my first one, this is what I use for my main session with newborns. I have on it a Sigma 35 millimeter 1.4 lens. This is a prime lens. This gives me that beautiful bokeh, or not necessarily bokeh, but like that blurry in the background, but the beautiful fall off that you see in all those images. That's what this is going to give you. I do keep it at a 1.8 f-stop. For my settings, I do always shoot in manual. I keep my shutter speed at 1/100th of a second. And my ISO, I have it L10, and that is because of the light that I use. It is a very, very bright light, and I don't like to have all the hot spots, so I keep that very low. On top of my camera, as you can see, this is a trigger. This is going to trigger my lights. I have Einstein and Godox. Godox is my secondary light, and so for that one, I have to have the Godox trigger in order to communicate with the light. And so I can also have this communicate with my Einstein by using a Godox receiver. Godox lights don't need a receiver. It's an automatic communication, but so that I can also use my Einstein with the exact same trigger, I have to have the receivers on those. So this was the easiest way so that I don't have to transfer different triggers on and off of my camera during sessions to be able to communicate with all of my lights. I also will use a 50 millimeter lens on this. That is for cake smashes, milestones, but also for maternity sessions because I can be a little bit further away from those. That is a 1.8 f-stop on when it's wide open on the 50 millimeter. I'm short. I feel like I really can't get close enough to a singleton to self-spot on a 50 millimeter lens. So I use the 35 millimeter lens when I'm doing that. And then I do lens correction as I import into my software. I do have a second body, like I said, because I was a wedding photographer for years. On this particular body, I have my macro lens. So I don't use a zoom. But you could change lenses from one, if you only have one body, not a big deal. Just change your lens. It's pretty easy now to do that. But I use a 70 millimeter Sigma 2.8 for my macro. This is a designated macro. It's literally on the lens, DG macro. So this is a macro lens. I will not use a macro lens for anything other than macro because the distance that you have to be at in order to make it work. You can't get anything other than detail into it and be in focus. All right, so I'm going to pause this for a second so that I can take the phone off of my stand, and then I'm going to take you to the next piece of hardware. All right, so now I'm just going to walk over to my next piece of hardware, and we're going to talk about lights for a second. I'm going to flip you around. All right, so this is my Einstein. I have two of them, this one here and this one here. This one is my maternity, milestone, and cake smash area, or in some cases, I do have to do bigger props over here for newborns. My Einstein is on a Pro Photo stand. That way I can move it if I need to. And then on a trigger, I can't remember what that's called, but this is so that I can adjust the light up and down. Okay. My Einstein is I believe that says 640 WS from Paul Buff. And then this is just the Godox receiver so that I can communicate with my Einstein. And I do have my umbrella. This one is I believe that is also an 86. Thought I had a 64, but maybe not. Black on the outside. The inside is also white. I don't use the reflector on the inside. I just use the white, and then 2 diffusers. Same thing for newborn. I keep it as, oh no, my newborn I actually have as the silver. That might be why I'm getting hot spots. I should change that around. Huh. Well, that was accidental. Anyway, learn something new every day, even from myself. I do have 2 diffusers on this one as well. I do shoot through a white curtain, which is an additional diffuser. And then I have a Godox receiver on that one as well. I do keep my Einstein light for newborn all the way down to its lowest setting because it is a bright light. And then for maternity, family, cake smash, I also use the Godox. This one's a Godox 200. And then I use, this is my filler light, and I use the honeycomb on the inside to be able to have directional lighting. All right, now for the last piece of hardware equipment that I use, this is my absolute favorite piece, secondary to my cameras, literally. If I had to choose whether or not I was going to get a second light, or if I was going to get this piece here, the Infinity Newborn Posing Pedestal, I 100% would get this, simply because of longevity and safety and ergonomics for the photographer. After being in the industry for several years and getting older, I was finding that I was going to have to quit because of back and knee pain from getting up and down off the floor or bending over. And so my husband, being an engineer, an industrial manufactured engineer, I went to him and said, I need something to fix this. And this is what we were able to come up with. Absolutely love it. So it is created as a pedestal. So there are not 4 legs, there's 1 leg, and then there are 4 extensions off of that. So that gives you your security for balance. This was created with the mindset of Inca pyramids. We are native. And so the Inca pyramids are known as being the strongest structures known to mankind. And they are created with that mindset. And then it does have what's called slave locks. So this is literally just 2 pieces. You've got your base that folds up inside of itself. And then you have your surface. And the surface, the way that it is connected is through slave locks, so that I can literally lift and it will not come off. It is not going to collapse during a session. But what we did was we created that so that we could use that to the benefit of soothing for the baby during a session. Because as you know, all metal structures require to have some give in them so that they don't collapse over the course of time due to gravity. Think our bridges, skyscrapers, whatnot. And so that's what we did. We just purposely put that give where it connects to the pedestal so that you can use it to your benefit for soothing. Absolutely love it. On top of that, it does swivel a full 360 degrees. So that way you can change out your backdrops nice and easy. It does have an extension in the back. This goes down into this piece here. And that is what I typically use, but because I have the wood on here because I was doing props, that is why it is extended. I'm getting caught on my fabric over here. And then over here, this one right here, this one actually drops down to 180 or all the way up to 90 degrees so that you can do floor to wall extension. It does fold up for nice and easy storing. It does not have wheels on it because wheel casters have been known to break from other companies during sessions. And so we did not want to take the risk of that happening. But the wheels that it does have on it is once it has been folded up for storage, you can then put it on its end and move it throughout your studio for storage purposes. Okay, now this is the part that makes it ergonomically correct. As of right now, it is at its lowest setting. So I am 5'2", can literally shoot from overhead. If that was laying flat, I could go this way with my Flocatis, or I can also do swing anything, silhouette bowls, anything that is overhead. I can do overhead with my 35. I have tried it with a 50 millimeter at 5'2", and I was still able to get full scene in there. Had to stretch a little bit, but I didn't have to stand on anything. Now, at the touch of a button, you can see that this is raising. I can raise this and stop it at any position that I want or need. In this case, I'm currently sitting in an office chair. So if I wanted, I could come in, put my legs underneath it and stop it right there if I wanted, which I do periodically. Or sometimes I like to stand during sessions as well. So then at that point, I have it all the way up to its highest setting, which is right there. And then I can work from here. So if I have opposing surface right there, not obviously with props. Props, you're always gonna want down to its lowest setting. Whenever I move this, if I have the baby on the pedestal at the time, because I will put them in, say, the silhouette bowl, and then I will move it down to the bottom. Always place hand on baby while it's moving for safety purposes. It's very nice and smooth. So that way it can drop all the way down without waking baby up. And then there is also a vibration option. So that right there is my absolute favorite piece of equipment, not only because it's something that I created, but it is ergonomically correct. So it will allow you to be able to be in the industry for longer, and it is safe for baby. All right, guys, for now, that is my hardware equipment that I use. And next time, I believe we might be able to discuss, props and where we get all of our wraps and that kind of stuff from as well. Not that that is much of a safety issue, but sometimes it can be, depending on whether or not they use lead in their dyes when they're doing things. So, all right, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Cue Photography. You can find me on Facebook. On Instagram is Denaya Cueto on Cue, spelled C-U-E. And then on my website on cuephotography.com. All right, guys, have a good day.